what happens sometimes, what girls will do, they'll throw, and they throw here, and the ball sails. So what I try to do is, boom, right, left, get your feet underneath, and then throw. Now what you got to do is do it not in a real sequence, because here's what the girls do. You go back, right, left, and then they'll throw. You see what I'm saying? So you got to do it quick. Tell them, as soon as you turn, it should be automatic. Boom, they're throwing. There's got to be a movement. What I eventually get into is just feet work. You know, if they turn and just do a little footwork, they're fine. It's about feet. It's about moving the feet. And I'll do that, 10 foot. I'll back them up. I think early in the year, what you need to start doing is backing them up. And then I get to the point where you're working on short throws. And then you're going to back up and go long throws. Be careful with the long throws. Make sure they're finishing all the way down. You can do, if you feel like the arms aren't strong, you can do straight ups. Go them straight up. That way they're still working on arm strength. Arm strength is the big deal. Now you guys don't practice every day. You practice 3 times a week. Well, when I get to high school, I practice every day. So my girls, I have to be very, very careful not to wear them out toward the end of the, because if I do that we throw every day, but I have to tweak it some, because what will happen when we go to March or April, all of a sudden our arms will just walk around like this. Just too much. So, but once you do that, you get them together and just, hey, guys, play catch. And just go over that golden rule. Please do that, because I did in my camp. They do not look away or talk to someone unless they have the ball in their hand, please. I'm sure some of you mentioned that, but girls, it's got to be, I used to go around and I'd say that to them, and all of a sudden I'd scream their name. I'd say, Maria. And Maria would throw the ball over there, and I'd say, Maria. And she wouldn't turn around. I said, Maria, turn around. And finally she got the ball, and I said, yes. So that's what I want. Because they'll be out in the field one day, and you're going to be screaming at them from the stands. You're going to be yelling at them, and next thing you know, they're not going to the ball, they're going to look over and bam. And they're done. And that's the key. Once they get that one big injury, they're done. Some of them. They'll get that nose job, and hey, I'm done. No more softball for me. So, anyway, those are my throwing. I don't do much than that, more throwing. And then from there, I go into infield and outfield drills. The thing I'm going to try, I won't be able to get all of them in. Please teach them to move. What I'm saying is, and this is how I do it, you do young people, but I do it with older kids. You make them go out and draw a circle in the dirt. And they're outside the dirt. They can do whatever they want to do. Girls, guys, doesn't matter. They can't go 5 innings, 4 innings, 3 innings, 7 innings thinking straight ball. You can't do it, man. So what I'm saying is, have them, I call it the hula hoop or the circle, and you're outside. And just have them go somewhere. Think something else. Go over there and pick up rocks. The key is your pitcher. When your pitcher's on the mound, that's when, you're the, and you'll see if you watch baseball, you watch softball, you'll see that's what they do. And all of a sudden that pitcher's on the mound, boom, they're focused, they're ready to roll. Then they get back out and they're moving around. Please get them out of this. And you're just killing dirt, you're killing grass, is what I call it. Move around. And all it is just moving in. If you're an outfielder, teach them, start teaching this part of the game. This, and the glove open, ready, moving the feet a little bit. If you're 2 corners, if your corners are up, you can get down a little bit more. If you're a midfielder, you should be right in here. Outfielder, just a little bit up. But glove is open, ready to move, left and right. And that is real basic. And then what I do is, Just tell me to shut up. Tell me to shut up.
No, keep going.
Right, the infield is what I do. And if you can purchase them, please try to get those. They're called foam pads. Some people have wooden ones. The way it doesn't matter. I used to have, when I did at Centennial, I bought little bitty gloves. And the little bitty gloves worked. They're good for certain drills, but I still like them. And they're good for, the thing about it is seeing a small ball come in the glove. You're watching it more. And the paddles are good to do certain grounder drills and certain fielder drills, because what they have to do, they have to put their hand in the ball. And that's my big deal. Guys, we don't have time we're here, we don't have time to sit there and suck it in, do that. We don't have time. It's called fast pitch. So, that's out. And so when I teach, I'll sit on a bucket right there, I have a bucket of balls, I'll put someone in first, and what I like to do is put a, switch, start working a first baseman there. That way they're working reps. And then you can switch, put a girl down at first, you put a bucket there, you might have 9 or 10 doing that, and then you can have 9 or 10 in the outfield working outfield drills. I think at your age, all the way up to 14, all the way up to 16, you need to play 2 positions. You need to learn outfield. You need to learn an infield. Because when you get up to me, they might not have a choice. All of a sudden, they could be playing third. All of a sudden, they could be playing outfield. They could be playing, depends on their athletic ability. I like my best athlete on first. But when I like her at first, you have to find someone that's really good, because why? They save the game, man. They're the ones that got the All-Americans. They're going to make everybody else look like All-Americans. There's no excuse to the first base, and that's what I'll tell first basemen every time. I got to find someone over there that can make miracles over there happen with balls, because those guys aren't going to be perfect. So you got to have that good athlete over there that can catch. Yeah, it could be you're short. But you've got to do something about that first. You've got to have somebody to receive that ball. So that's what I'll do. What I'll do is, if first base is down there and there I am right there, what I'll do is have them get a stance. There's one line right this way, and I'll just sit there and toss the ball to them. I'm right there. They'll come up, field it, right, left. Boom. That's what they'll do. I do this every day. Boom. And then next, I have grounders. Grounders, moving the feet. Their feet, they're moving. Right, they're moving up, boom. I try to think bottom of the ball. I still like fingers up. You try to get down in the triangle with the head. Some girls will feel like this, and that's where the issues are. The butt's got to be down. There's the point of the triangle. It's got to be out there. Hand the ball, fingertips up, boom, set, boom, get rid of it. Right, left. And I do that constantly. We work on that. And then we work, another one, I put little gloves on. You can do both. I just work backhands. And a lot of them don't understand the backhand is a last resort. I don't want to cross over yet. We can. But this is just a big deal. Just call just a hinge. Work on hinging, boom, and then the other one is a short hop. Big deal when a ball comes at a girl and they're not sure what to do with it. It's coming right at them. And if it's 2 hops, they really try to get that. They want to get it before the second hop. But sometimes it comes and it's just a 1 hopper. They've got to get their glove on the ground and work up. If they don't, they anticipate the hop. Ball goes under their legs. So that's another thing we work on, ground up. And those are 4 or 5 drills I do every day. And throw it first every day. And they're good things to do. You don't have to have it. If you can purchase the little styrofoam hand deal, you'll see a real good point in it. You really will. Just how they have to grab the ball. Because that's another issue with girls sometimes. They just don't grab. Everything's got to be turned. And I know you're saying, well, you have a 6-year-old and 5-year-old. Start teaching them. Start teaching. Okay, we did our camp. We had third on up, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, and we taught it. We taught it. We went through everything, was stretching and everything. Now, did they pick it up in the camp? No. But it's something to teach, something to keep teaching about that.
Coach, can you quickly go over just basic batting, like how we want to stand and correct?
Yes, and hitting, he asked about hitting, and what I did, when I put him in the cage, and if you want, I'll go back to outfield because I don't want to. Outfield is a real, you need to work drills. These girls need to understand about, they need to move. They need to understand or see the ball going to the glove. Start teaching that. See where the ball is hit. See where it's coming off the bat. That's a big deal. Just not being out there. Do this and they've got to start moving so they have reaction time and work drills to where you work 2 or 3 drills. They're simple. And all you're doing is, I'm there, the girl's here, you put the ball there, and she's working on running, catch, and get rid of the ball. Both sides. The other one is, just work on open step, both sides. Open step. Something you need to start teaching right now is ball. Tell them to say ball. Okay, because there's a communication. It took me forever I was so hard-headed about it, but now, ball, what I call ball, basically is the one who has seniority, who has the preference. Center has priority over left and right. Outfield has priority over any infielders. Those are big deals when those little glutes hit and collisions. I've seen too many of them. So work that. Work on communication. Work on who's got the ball. And what I'm saying is, the infielder right here is going to go off in this little glute, and she's running for it as hard as she can. What she's got to do? Then all of a sudden, she sees the right fielder coming for it, and she's yelling ball because she's an infielder. But this one here is going to say ball. And then she's going to get what? You got to work those things in practice. If you don't, you're going to end up having a collision. I had 2 girls collide 2006. Headshots. Their heads blew up, basically. They're all fine. One had stitches all the way down here, split her head open by 35 stitches. The other one blew up her cheek here, just blew it apart. Another 30. None of them had concussions or anything. But I'm just, I say these things, people so they understand. And that's where the trust comes in. If you work on these things, they won't happen in the game.
Can you just give us a bad?
Yeah. Now, and then the hitting part, what you can do, I don't know if you have cages, I don't know what you have. I teach, and you've got to have plates. If you don't have plates, these girls, that's where they go wrong. So whenever you're working on hitting, please just don't say, go over there and hit. So what I'll do is I'll line them all up like you, and I'll have their helmets on, I'll have them all straight lines, and the first thing I'll do, imaginary play, I say, play, then I'll say this, I bat up, back, I'm going to teach something different, I'm not going to go into everything, this is what I teach. I like to have the fingers loose, the knuckles lined up. This all needs to be loose. It does not need to be tight. As long as you can keep this loose. Teach them certain things about the umpire. Remember, you can put your hand out there all day. He will not call you timeout. He doesn't have to. So teach them if she tries to do that, he doesn't have to. She throws a strike. So be aware of that. Because you do this doesn't mean anything. Now, walking up, you can do that. He'll hold it up, and once you get in there and all of a sudden you put the hand up, he didn't have to give you time out. But that's the first thing I would always do every day. And what you're working on is stance, see if they're loose, if they're doing head still. I like a little glide step right here. Make sure they're balanced. They're not on their heels. They're flat. And what you're talking about is the step. And then the next thing I do, I'll say step, I'll say back to ball. What I want to do is get the back to ball or barrel the ball. A lot of girls don't think that. Barrel the ball, and that's what you're working on. Now you're looking top hand, lower hand. Now you're working extension, and that's what I call extend. And then I say finish. And that's just a slow motion. I'll do it again. Bat up, step, back to ball, extend, finish. What girls do, we went through a whole cycle of hitting in the 90s. Girls were taught this. Boom, hit that back. Boom, hit that back. You see them doing that today? So what they do, they used to swing and they'd roll it quick. Their backs would just turn into red because they were hitting this one. And then we went to another deal. It's called, I hope you don't mind doing it. It's called rotational hitting. All of a sudden, everybody was taught one thing. Rotate, rotate, rotate. And what you found there, all you had to do is throw hard inside, and it fouled off every time. So that all changed. And then finally, people started figuring things out. We put a little both rotational and just the regular style of hitting. It's standard. And if you want to teach your daughter to do all this stuff, remember what I said. It's fast pitch. You don't have as much time. If you watch all the college, World Series college athletes, I know they're all D1, so you can't compare. But you got to think everything is short. And the more I can keep this short, and they talk about load, and load is a big deal. You can load just by doing this. But if you do this big load, you're not going to have time as they become older. The whole thing about it is timing and reps. So the other thing is, if this is your plate, that's the front plate, that's the side. Teach them to make sure, bats are a big deal. Make sure they have the right kind of bat to cover. You put it here, some of them, none of them need 34s. I'm not sure you need 33s. 33s are even touchy. I've only had one girl in 20-something years that used a 34. And they're very few far between. I might have one this year that Maggie tried, she might use a 34. You gotta be careful. You get those 33s and 32s. The high-tech ones are, they've got so much pop on them. I think they're building them, making them a lot stronger today so they last longer. Usually in high school ball, they last 1 year, they're done. Because what they have to do is they have to go through a cold season. They have to go through that bad cold season, and it's just not good for them at all. So we can't really do anything about it. But make sure they have the bat, and they can pick up the bat. It's not something that's, and you should be able to put it down on the floor and put the bat should come up to the wrist right there. That's part of their length. And whatever length is, make sure they're on there, and some put the bat across, and one thing you can do is step and just see if your bat's covering the plate. You gotta also remember that most of these umpires, your umpires, and my umpires, are going to probably call a ball outside 2 balls. That's what's going to happen if they do that. You're going to move up a little bit. So you're going to think about those kind of things. But you should be off. That's where your distance is. Okay, where you line up, this is the front plate. You can do that. Or you go to the middle of the plate and the back. Either one. What I do is adjust. Girls today are not adjusting. I don't think baseball adjusts as much as we adjust. I believe in adjusting the play. And that's something I'll have to do. You have to beat it into it. You go in there, this umpire's getting 2 balls outside, you've got to be on the play more. You can't be on the play, you've got to get up, you've got to move up. So if she comes inside, you've got to get a turn on her. If a girl, if you run into this as your girls get older and all of a sudden this girl's throwing a great drop, move up in front of the box. If that's the line, you can move up the line and touch the line. You're not out. That's nothing wrong with that. You can do that. There's a drop. Now she can't drop anymore. If the girl is throwing this ball that keeps going up and rising, move way back in the box. Or if she's fast, then normally what you do, move in the box. That gives you another 3 foot to look at it. But the thing about the swing, and I don't go into real detail with these kids. You know, the big deal here is eye-hand coordination. I had an old guy tell me a long time ago, 98% of the problem with hitting, and it's a big percentage, 98%, is they don't see the ball. You know, they don't see it. So you've got to work certain drills. You know, and it might be side toss with little balls. It might be color balls, make them see colors. Anything you can come up with to see the ball. That is a big issue. Front toss to me is the best thing you can do. Put a screen, sit on a bucket, and sit there and go front toss to them. They're working on timing. You can work inside, outside. I've done that for 24 years. And all my hitters were good. So it's a big deal. You know, and the big deal, what you'll see is you got to watch timing. They don't need to do anything. And how do you teach timing? What do you look for? Well, it's all about the pitcher. Is the pitcher fast? Is the pitcher slow? Then tell them not to do anything. Don't even do anything if the pitcher's slow until you see the ball coming out. But if that pitcher's fast, as soon as she moves that arm, you watch the hip. When the girls are going, I'm not throwing a lot at you, but if you start going this direction, they're going to start picking it up. But you watch you try to get your eye on the hip, and if she's fast, as soon as she moves that arm, you better be ready to move, you better be ready to step, and then you're going to swing it too late. But the key is to see contact. And now what I'm saying is, I don't, you know, whether it's a curve, drop, rise, you know, if you start getting all this on hit the ball, this one ball here, this and that, it's not going to work, guys. Too much thinking. You know, you need to teach as much as you can in practice, and then when they go in the game, leave them alone. Make an adjustment. Say, hey, back up this next time. Say, hey, I think move up a little bit. But you start thinking about, hey, you need to do this, you hit, you need to do this, they're gone. Do all that in practice. That's why it's so important for 3 or 4 of you, or 4 or 5 of you to be on the same page, or all of you be on the same page about hitting. If you're not, these girls, all it's going to do is mess them up. They've got to hear the same thing. They can hear the same thing from you, and that's why, you know, when I did at the high school, I asked how many are going to hitting coaches. And if everyone were going to hitting coaches, I said, all right, listen, this is what I'm going to teach. And you see, and then I'll tweak things a little bit here and there, but the main thing we're going to do at the high school, you cannot become a good hitter unless you're hitting 300 reps per day. I mean, that's a lot of reps, but that is the only way you can be successful. You have to work at it. And so, you know, sitting there working, that's what I teach, that elbows in the slot, we're top hand, bottom hand, we're working on extending and then finishing. You know, but I like to say about the hips should be starting first. There's your step, there's your hip. I don't like, we got out of that thing that's squishing the bug. Y'all still talk about that a little bit? It's a good deal, but the thing about it, as you become older, what these girls started doing, you start saying squish the bug, and what they would do, they would rise. So they would get up, and then all of a sudden, it comes their eyes off. You know, and they start popping up. So what I teach is move the hip, and this should move. You know, everything should be there when you finish. You're stepping, boom, moving, and everything is balanced. They always say you stick a rod all the way through the top of the head, all the way down, all the way through. There shouldn't be any movement. You know, everything is balanced. And that's what you try to do. You try to get that balance and extension and everything. And you can, the guy I always go with, you find is somebody you like. I listen to Mike Dyson, he's at Arizona. I listen to the ex-Oklahoma State coach. I listen to West Texas A&M coach. I listen to all of the clinics, you know, and I listen to girl coach used to be at UCLA, I listened to her. You know, and all of them have the same, there's just 5,000 ways to do things. I mean, and you gotta get one that you like. And this is pretty basic. I'm not gonna do any more than that. You know, and then you tweak things. You know, some girls, what they do is they're way out there. When go out at a young age, put the bat on the shoulder, line them up, and you start checking these things. Knees slightly bent, make sure that underneath my armpits, bat up, and that's all I need. Just work that part. Don't work where they're out there. Just like bat up, and they're perfect. This bat really doesn't need to be past the shoulder. If you want to low, circle low. You can do that if you want to. Just be able to tiny rep. Some girls like to go back, but you know, I've seen it, and sometimes it's just too late. So those are, you know, hitting drills. Like I said, front toss, tees to me are a very, very good tool. But what you can do, that's the key thing. If you do put them in cages and someone's working with them, put plates. You know, plates are very, very inexpensive. And you can put there and
We got content over there.
and you can put a tee there and remember, everyone has a different place to hit. If it's an inside pitch, my inside pitch might be here. But the other girls might be a little further out here, and the other one might be a little bit here. So they've got to figure out where they need to get that meat of that ball there. Same with the outside pitch. Where are they going to go? The big deal on the outside pitch is driving the right hit, driving through the ball. And that's one thing I like to teach is driving through the ball. So you can use the tees, you can go side toss. Make sure somebody knows how to do side toss. The strike zone is a big deal. You know, there's 3 strike zones, right? You have yours, you have the umpires, and you have the pitchers. And the one you're worried about is the umpires. So that's the umpire strike zone. So their strike zone is supposed to be below the numbers and to the bottom of the knees. But remember, bottom of the knees, the ball can be right there and it can be a strike. Depends on his preference. I don't know what kind of umpires you have, just kids or whoever do it. I mean, but you just got to figure out what their strike zone is. But that's what those girls need to learn. The girls need to learn. So if you're having someone side toss and they're throwing it way up on their neck, it's not doing one bit of good. It's not doing any good. Side toss can be safe. If that was a hitter, I would be here. I'd have a bucket of balls, and whatever. I'd just fake it once in a while. That's like a change-up. That way they're working on timing, and they're not working on just throwing the back. That's where the issues are. You toss it out in front where their hip is, and then they drive it through. Right, again, that's another key is safety. If you're in cages, a lot of you are in cages, wear helmets. Please wear helmets in the cages. I know that's a pretty good cushion out here, but I would still wear helmets. You've heard all the stories about that. I don't want to. It's a big safety deal. So anyway, toss it, let them hit, toss it, let them hit. That's a good one. Another one you can do is for timing is get here and just drop it. And you drop it. Those are 2 or 3. One I do to drive the ball, work on extension. It's really a good one. You put a tee in the cage at the very front of the cage. You put a tee down here. You put a ball on that tee. And what you do is you get a bucket of balls, and what you do is you hit line drives. That's what you want to teach. You want to try to tell her to hit this tee, hit the ball, and try to knock that ball off that tee. And what that teaches is that finish I'm talking about. Finish. That's the big deal. The more you finish the ball, the more you finish the bat, the more acceleration on the ball. The ball's going to go further. And that's the big key. The ball goes further. It's harder. And you can tell if the ball's not finishing because the ball dies. So those are just 4 or 5 drills in the hitting area. Bunt, please. You can start off bunt with catching. Have them just throw. The pivot bunt is all in one, and the big deal is bend. Everything you do is bend. Have them just do this, touch the knee, and all they're going to do is catch. Start teaching it back. get it back, a little bit 45, not much, and that's all you're doing. Catch, 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 catch. Never let them do that with the back. Okay? You know, everything is just catch. As soon as you start doing that, it fouls off, it comes underneath them, and they've got a nose job. They'll never win a bet again. So, but please start going in that direction. And that way, when they come up to me, I'm ready. I'm ready. It's not so hard to start teaching things.